Letting go of past pain is one of the hardest challenges we face as human beings. Whether it comes from heartbreak, betrayal, loss, or unspoken wounds carried for years, pain has a way of leaving its mark. It doesn't simply vanish with time. It lingers, shaping our choices, influencing our relationships, and echoing in our thoughts when we least expect it. Many people fear that if they let go of the pain, they will also lose an essential part of themselves, the memories, the lessons, or even their identity. But learning how to let go of past pain without losing yourself is not about erasing history. It is about creating space for inner peace and allowing yourself to live fully in the present. Too often, we associate letting go with weakness, as though releasing the past means surrendering or giving up. The truth is the opposite. Holding on to pain does not make us stronger. It only keeps us trapped in cycles of suffering. Choosing to let go is not weakness. It is a quiet, powerful strength. It takes courage to acknowledge the hurt, accept what cannot be changed, and take deliberate steps toward healing. Think of your past pain like a heavy stone you've been carrying in your backpack. At first, you might convince yourself it's manageable, or even necessary, because it represents your story. But over time, the weight becomes exhausting. The moment you set it down, you realize you are still yourself, only lighter, freer, and more open to life. That is the essence of letting go, freeing yourself without losing yourself. Letting go does not mean you forget or deny what happened. Instead, it means learning to look at your story from a new perspective. You can honor the lessons while releasing the suffering. Pain may shape who you are, but it does not have to define who you become. By loosening your grip, you create room for compassion, resilience, and new possibilities. And this is where inner peace begins. Inner peace does not come from rewriting the past, but from learning how to live with it in a healthier way. It is the calm assurance that the past no longer controls you. It is the steady belief that you can move forward without fear of losing your identity. Perhaps the most beautiful outcome of letting go is that it creates space for a new dream. When your heart is no longer entangled in the weight of yesterday, you make room for fresh experiences, deeper connections, and undiscovered joys. Your past will always be part of you, but it does not have to be the cage that holds you back. Letting go is not an ending, it is an opening. In the pages ahead, we will explore practical, compassionate steps to release pain without losing yourself. You will discover why holding on keeps you stuck, how forgiveness sets you free, and how self-compassion and boundaries can rebuild your life. This journey is not about erasing who you are. It is about uncovering the strength, clarity, and peace that have been waiting inside you all along. Emotional pain is not as visible as a physical wound, yet it can feel even more overwhelming. While a broken bone may heal in weeks, the ache of betrayal, rejection, or grief can linger for years. To truly learn how to let go of past pain without losing yourself, it's essential to first understand what emotional pain is, why it holds such power, and how it becomes part of our inner identity. Unlike physical pain, which signals injury to the body, emotional pain is tied to our sense of meaning and self-worth. When someone we love abandons us, or when we face loss, it doesn't just hurt, it challenges who we believe we are. That's why emotional pain can echo in our thoughts long after the event has passed. Psychologists explain that emotional pain often arises from unmet expectations, broken trust, or unresolved attachments. When we hold on to these experiences, our brain tends to replay the memory, almost as if it is searching for a different ending. This repetitive loop is why letting go feels so hard. The mind is wired to cling to what hurt us in an attempt to protect us from future harm. But holding on has its cost. When we identify too closely with our pain, we risk confusing it with our entire identity. Instead of saying, "I experienced betrayal," we unconsciously start saying, "I am broken." This shift turns a single painful event into a life-defining story. It's one of the key reasons why letting go feels threatening, because it feels like losing a part of ourselves. Yet the truth is, pain is not who you are. It is something that happened to you. Recognizing this difference is the first step toward reclaiming your strength. Letting go doesn't mean pretending the pain never existed. It means no longer allowing it to dominate your present or dictate your future. As we move forward, We'll explore how pain shapes identity and why loosening its grip opens the door to freedom, resilience, and inner peace. Why is letting go so difficult even when we know holding on causes suffering? The answer lies in psychology. Our brains are wired for survival, and one way they attempt to protect us is by clinging to painful experiences. The subconscious belief is simple. If I remember this pain vividly, I can prevent it from happening again. This survival mechanism explains why we replay old arguments in our minds or revisit heartbreak years later. The brain treats unresolved emotional pain as a potential threat, forcing us to relive it in hopes of avoiding future harm. But instead of protecting us, this habit often deepens our suffering. Psychologists also point to the role of fear. Letting go can feel like losing control or erasing something important. Even if the memory hurts, it feels safer to keep it close. That's why many people confuse letting go with forgetting, when in fact, letting go means remembering without reliving. In addition, emotional pain activates the same brain regions as physical pain. That's why heartbreak can literally feel like a wound. Without healthy coping strategies, the brain holds on to painful emotions, leaving us stuck in a cycle of rumination. Understanding this psychology helps us approach healing with compassion. If you've struggled to let go, it's not because you are weak. It's because your brain is trying to protect you. The challenge is teaching it a new way forward. Emotional pain not only affects our feelings, it reshapes how we see ourselves. When we carry wounds from the past, they can become part of our story and eventually our identity. For example, someone who was abandoned in childhood might unconsciously grow into adulthood believing, "I am unworthy of love." Another person who failed at a career goal may begin to think, "I am a failure." Notice the difference. Instead of describing an event, the pain becomes a self-definition. This identity fusion is powerful because it convinces us that releasing pain means losing part of ourselves. If your pain has become your story for years, the thought of letting go may feel like erasing who you are. But the truth is, pain is not your identity. It is a chapter, not the whole book. By learning to separate "I experience pain" from "I am pain," we reclaim our freedom. This shift allows us to honor our past without being imprisoned by it. It also reminds us that letting go is not about weakness or denial. It is about choosing which parts of our story deserve to guide our future. Step 1. Acknowledge the pain without judgment. The first and most essential step in letting go of past pain without losing yourself is acknowledgement. Too often, people try to heal by pushing emotions away, pretending they don't exist, or telling themselves to just move on. But denial does not erase pain. It only buries it deeper. Real healing begins when we face our pain with honesty, acceptance, and without judgment. Why denial delays healing? When we deny our pain, we create a double burden. We carry the weight of the original hurt and the stress of suppressing it. Psychologists call this emotional avoidance, a coping mechanism that might provide short-term relief, but almost always prolongs suffering in the long run. For instance, someone who has experienced heartbreak may distract themselves with work or social activities, refusing to think about what happened. On the surface, it looks like strength, but inside, unresolved feelings of grief or rejection build up, eventually showing up as anxiety, anger, or even physical health problems. The truth is that avoiding pain doesn't make it disappear. It simply finds new ways to resurface. Healing requires honesty, the willingness to say, "Yes, I was hurt. Yes, it mattered. And yes, I'm ready to face it." Healthy self-awareness practices. Acknowledgement does not mean drowning in sorrow or replaying memories endlessly. It means noticing your pain with clarity instead of judgment. Here are a few healthy ways to practice this step. Mindful observation. Sit quietly and notice your emotions as they arise. Instead of labeling them as bad or weak, simply acknowledge them. I feel sad. I feel angry. I feel lost. Journaling. Writing down your thoughts helps bring hidden emotions to light. It transforms vague, overwhelming feelings into clear words you can work with. Safe conversations. Talking with a trusted friend, counselor, or support group allows you to express emotions openly instead of keeping them locked inside. These practices create self-awareness, which is the opposite of denial. They allow you to witness your pain without letting it define you. Acknowledgement is not a sign of weakness. It is the foundation of healing. By choosing to face your pain instead of running from it, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your wounds. And only from this place of truth can you begin to let go and move toward inner peace. Step 2. Shift perspective to reframe the past. If acknowledgement is the first step to healing, then reframing is the bridge that leads us forward. To let go of past pain without losing yourself, you need to change how you see your story. The past cannot be rewritten, but the way you interpret it can transform everything. Using cognitive reframing techniques. Cognitive reframing is a psychological tool that helps us view painful experiences from a new perspective. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" we begin to ask, "What can I learn from this? How has this shaped my strength?" For example, imagine losing a close relationship. Initially, the pain feels unbearable, and the story in your mind may sound like, "I'm unworthy of love. I'll never be happy again." These thoughts deepen the wound and trap you in despair. But through reframing, you shift the narrative. This loss taught me what I truly value in relationships. It showed me my capacity to survive heartbreak, and it opened the possibility for something healthier in the future. This doesn't mean the pain disappears. It means you reclaim power over how you define it. By reframing, the same memory that once chained you to suffering becomes a stepping stone to resilience. Turning pain into life lessons. Another way to reframe is to see pain not only as loss, but also as an opportunity for growth. Many people discover that their most difficult experiences taught them empathy, compassion, or inner strength. A failed job might ignite a new career path. A heartbreak might inspire deeper self-awareness. It's important to note, however, that reframing is not about romanticizing suffering or pretending everything happens for the best. Pain is real, and sometimes it's simply unfair. But choosing to extract meaning from it allows you to carry the experience differently. Instead of dragging it like a burden, you can carry it like wisdom. Reframing helps us move beyond the idea that letting go is weakness. In reality, letting go is strength. It means refusing to let pain define your future. By changing the lens through which you view your past, you don't erase who you are. You simply open yourself to who you are becoming. Step 3. Practice forgiveness for yourself and others. If acknowledgement opens the door and reframing changes the view, forgiveness is the act that sets you free. Many people resist forgiveness because they mistake it for approval or reconciliation. But forgiveness does not mean excusing harmful behavior, nor does it require restoring broken relationships. Forgiveness is about releasing yourself from the grip of resentment so you can move forward with clarity and peace. Myths about forgiveness. There are several common misconceptions about forgiveness. Forgiveness means forgetting. False. You don't need to erase the memory. Forgiveness means remembering without carrying bitterness. Forgiveness excuses wrongdoing. False. You can forgive someone and still acknowledge the harm they caused. Forgiveness requires reconciliation. False. You can forgive even if you never speak to that person again. Forgiveness shows weakness. False. Forgiveness requires strength and maturity. It is often one of the most courageous acts we can perform. These myths keep people trapped in cycles of pain, believing that holding on to anger gives them power. In reality, it only keeps the wound open. Forgiveness as a gift to yourself. True forgiveness is less about the other person and more about your own freedom. When you hold on to anger or resentment, it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. You remain stuck, reliving the pain over and over. Forgiveness allows you to reclaim your energy. It gives you permission to say, "I no longer allow this pain to control me." This shift does not make what happened okay, but it makes you okay. Sometimes the hardest forgiveness is the one we owe ourselves. We punish ourselves for mistakes, regrets, or perceived failures. Yet refusing to forgive yourself keeps you chained to guilt. Self-forgiveness is the recognition that being human means being imperfect, and that imperfection does not erase your worth. By practicing forgiveness, you choose freedom over bitterness, strength over weakness, and healing over hurt. It is one of the most powerful ways to let go of past pain without losing yourself. Step 4. Develop mindfulness and presence. If forgiveness sets you free from resentment, Mindfulness is what keeps you anchored in the present. Pain often pulls us backward into the past or pushes us forward into fear of the future. Mindfulness allows us to stay rooted in the now, where healing actually happens. Mindfulness meditation for release. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention, on purpose, to the present moment without judgment. It can be as simple as noticing your breath, feeling the rise and fall of your chest, or listening to the sounds around you. When practiced consistently, mindfulness meditation gives us the ability to witness painful thoughts without becoming entangled in them. For example, instead of thinking, "I am broken," you notice, "I am having the thought that I feel broken." This subtle shift creates space between you and your emotions. That space is freedom. It means you don't have to believe every thought or replay every memory. You can acknowledge what arises, then gently let it pass, just like clouds drifting across the sky. Journaling for emotional clarity. Another mindfulness tool is journaling. Writing down your thoughts each day gives your emotions a safe place to land. Instead of carrying them in silence, you give them shape on paper. Journaling helps clarify hidden patterns, fears that repeat, doubts that echo, and self-judgments that surface again and again. Once these patterns are visible, you can begin to challenge and transform them. Simple practices like gratitude journaling, listing 3 things you are thankful for each day, shift your focus from pain toward presence. Over time, this small act retrains the brain to notice what is steady, nurturing, and good. The gift of presence. Mindfulness is not about escaping reality, but about meeting it fully. By practicing presence, you no longer need to fight the past or fear the future. You create a calm, steady foundation inside yourself. This is where inner peace grows, not by controlling everything, but by being present with what is. Mindfulness teaches us that we can experience pain without becoming pain, and that letting go does not mean weakness, but wisdom. Step 5. Build healthy boundaries. Letting go of past pain is not only about internal work, it also requires setting boundaries in the external world. Without healthy boundaries, old wounds are easily reopened, and cycles of pain may repeat. Boundaries protect your emotional energy, preserve your self-respect, and create space for growth. Distinguishing boundaries from walls. Many people confuse boundaries with walls. A wall shuts everyone out, while a boundary invites connection with limits. A wall is built from fear, but a boundary is built from self-respect. For example, if someone constantly criticizes you, a wall would mean cutting them off completely without explanation. A boundary, however, might sound like, "I value our relationship, but I won't continue conversations where I'm disrespected." Boundaries don't isolate you, they empower you. They allow you to maintain relationships without sacrificing your peace. Saying no without guilt. One of the most powerful forms of boundary setting is learning to say no. Many people equate saying no with selfishness or weakness, but the truth is the opposite. Saying no protects your well-being and clarifies your priorities. Consider this. Every time you say yes to something you don't want, you're saying no to yourself. Boundaries remind you that your needs and values matter just as much as anyone else's. Practical ways to strengthen this skill include: pause before agreeing. Give yourself time to reflect before committing. Use clear language. Instead of vague excuses, be honest. "I can't commit to this right now." Start small. Practice setting limits in low-stakes situations before tackling bigger ones. Boundaries as a path to healing. Boundaries are not about control, they are about freedom. They prevent the repetition of painful patterns and help you protect the progress you've made in healing. Without boundaries, letting go is temporary. With them, it becomes sustainable. Healthy boundaries ensure that you don't just release past pain, you also prevent new wounds from taking its place. They are not a sign of weakness, but a declaration of self-worth. By building boundaries, you create a safe space where inner peace can grow and where the possibility of a new dream becomes real. Step 6. Embrace growth through self-compassion. Healing from past pain is not just about what you release, it's also about how you treat yourself in the process. Too often, people attempt to move on by pushing themselves harshly, criticizing every setback, or expecting perfection. But true growth requires gentleness. Self-compassion is the key to transforming pain into resilience without losing yourself along the way. The role of self-kindness in healing. Self-compassion means offering yourself the same kindness you would offer a close friend. When a friend is grieving, you don't tell them to get over it. You listen, you reassure, you remind them of their worth. Yet many of us fail to extend that same kindness to ourselves. Research in psychology shows that self-compassion reduces anxiety, improves resilience, and even strengthens motivation. By treating yourself with patience and care, you create an environment where healing is possible. Instead of being trapped in cycles of guilt or shame, you open a door to growth. Practical ways to practice self-kindness include gentle self-talk. Replace harsh inner criticism with words of encouragement. Permission to rest. Allow yourself breaks without labeling it as laziness. Celebrate small progress. Every step forward, no matter how small, is proof of your resilience. Rewriting your inner narrative. Another aspect of self-compassion is rewriting the story you tell yourself. Past pain often leaves us with narratives like, I am broken, I am unworthy, I am weak. These beliefs hold us back, but they are not the truth. Rewriting your inner narrative means consciously choosing new beliefs. I am healing, I am learning, I am growing stronger. Each time you affirm these truths, you weaken the grip of old pain. Self-compassion is not about ignoring mistakes or denying flaws. It is about recognizing that imperfection is part of being human. You don't need to be flawless to be worthy of love, peace, or a new dream. By embracing growth through self-compassion, you give yourself the freedom to heal without pressure, to learn without judgment, and to let go of pain without fear of losing your identity. Step 7. Create space for new dreams and opportunities. Letting go is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter. Once you release the grip of past pain, you create space for renewal, growth, and possibilities that once felt impossible. This is where the journey transforms, from surviving to thriving, from holding on to opening up to a new dream. Why letting go creates room for growth. When you hold on tightly to pain, it occupies valuable mental and emotional space. It's like a room filled with clutter. There's no space for new furniture, new colors, or new light. By letting go, you clear out what no longer serves you. This doesn't mean you erase the past. It means you stop letting it dominate your present. Growth thrives in open spaces. When you release resentment, fear, or regret, you create an inner openness that allows joy, creativity, and connection to flow again. This openness is what makes new opportunities possible. Practical steps to move forward. Creating space for new dreams doesn't require grand gestures. It begins with small, intentional actions. Revisit forgotten passions, pick up a hobby, project, or interest you once abandoned. Surround yourself with uplifting people. Relationships that nurture your growth will remind you of your worth. Set fresh goals. Even small goals like walking daily or reading a new book signal to yourself that you are moving forward. Visualize your new dream. Take time to imagine what life could look like, free of past pain. Visualization is not fantasy, it's planting seeds for future reality. Living into your new dream. A new dream doesn't erase your past, it grows from it. Every wound, every scar, and every tear becomes the soil where resilience takes root. Your pain has shaped you, but it doesn't have to define you. This is the paradox of letting go. You don't lose yourself, you find yourself. You discover the parts of you that were buried under fear, anger, or grief. And as you create space for new dreams, you realize that life after pain is not just possible, it can be beautiful. Frequently asked questions about letting go of past pain. 1. Why is it so hard to let go of past pain? Letting go feels difficult because the brain is wired for survival. It replays painful memories to prevent future harm, even if that replay causes suffering. On top of that, many people believe that releasing pain means forgetting, excusing, or losing part of themselves. In truth, letting go is not forgetting. It's remembering without reliving. By reframing the past and practicing mindfulness, you begin to loosen pain's grip. Letting go is not weakness, it's strength, because it requires courage to stop carrying what no longer serves you. 2. Can I let go of pain without forgiving the person who hurt me? Yes. Forgiveness and letting go are related but not identical. You can release resentment for your own peace of mind without approving the other person's actions. Forgiveness is less about the other person and more about your freedom. Even if reconciliation never happens, you can choose to let go of anger so it no longer defines you. 3. How long does it take to heal emotionally? There is no fixed timeline for emotional healing. It varies based on the depth of the wound, personal resilience, and support systems. Some people feel lighter within months, while others may need years. Healing is not linear. Setbacks are natural. The important part is consistent progress, practicing self-compassion, setting boundaries, and creating space for new dreams. Healing happens gradually, not overnight, and patience with yourself is key. 4. What are signs I haven't truly let go? If you still feel consumed by anger, replay memories often, or allow past pain to dictate your decisions, you may not have fully let go. Physical signs can include tension, stress, or anxiety triggered by reminders of the event. Letting go doesn't mean you'll never remember. It means the memory no longer controls your emotions or choices. True healing feels lighter, calmer, and more open to inner peace. 5. How do I know if I'm healing in the right way? You'll know you're healing when you begin responding rather than reacting. Instead of reliving old wounds, you notice them with more distance and compassion. You find yourself speaking to yourself with more kindness, setting boundaries without guilt, and imagining possibilities beyond your pain. Most importantly, you start to feel a growing sense of inner peace and openness to a new dream, even if you're still in progress. 6. Can therapy or counseling really help with letting go? Absolutely. Professional guidance offers tools and perspectives that can speed up healing. Therapists provide safe spaces to explore emotions, identify hidden beliefs, and practice strategies like cognitive reframing or mindfulness. Therapy is not about weakness. It's about strength and wisdom in seeking support. If past pain feels overwhelming, therapy can be the bridge that helps you release it and move toward inner peace with confidence. Letting go of past pain without losing yourself is not about erasing your story. It's about reclaiming it. Through acknowledgement, reframing, forgiveness, mindfulness, boundaries, and self-compassion, you create space for healing and growth. Most importantly, you open the door to a new dream, a life where the past no longer holds you captive. True strength does not come from holding on. It comes from having the courage to release what no longer serves you and trusting that inner peace is possible. Letting go is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is the quiet, steady power that allows you to carry your past as part of your journey, not as the weight that defines you. As you move forward, remember, healing is not a destination but a process. Every step you take toward presence, compassion, and freedom is a victory. And with each step, you discover that you are not losing yourself. You are finding the strongest, truest version of who you've always been.